Nigeria cannot survive if we keep playing political correctness in the face of wickedness. If Yorubas don't like what I'm saying, change. I'm the one who is on record for saying what I'm saying, but all I'm saying is prove me wrong. If you're a Yoruba bigot, I don't care if you're a doctor, lawyer, teacher, professor, show that you're a bigot. I'll clap for you because I'd rather know a bigot and know how to deal with them than be playing around with somebody who I think is my friend and they have a dagger to stick me in the back. Hello, everybody. Once again, this is Fred Wonko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Highland TV. And as usual, I like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on where you are around the world. Today, we're going to address bigotry and double standards in Nigeria. And I'm going to bring you a beautiful Yoruba woman. It's gonna be a tale of two stories about the same people. Kick back, relax, and come on this ride with me. Okay, that title, Abike, Dabiri, Remi, Tinubu, and Yoruba Bigots, shut the blank up. That kind of took you by surprise, didn't it? It was very hard. And probably you were shocked, weren't you? I don't know why you were shocked. That was mild. I actually meant to say shut the fuck up. But I didn't want to put that on the title. But I'm glad I said it here. I want you to be shocked. That title was mild. But I had to be politically correct. Because what I would have liked to say would have been more shocking. And I'll tell you why. I bear no grudge against Remi Tinubu. I definitely bear grudges against Abike Dabiri. She's a very ignorant idiot. But I understand why she's a minister. Because she works for the most ignorant person that has ever sat in Aso Rock, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the drug dealer, the election rigger, the land grabber, the Lagos resources embezzler. Should I go on? And then the Yoruba bigots that follow him. Not Yoruba people. There's a method to my madness. I'm an Igbo person. I should have been donning an Igbo type of hat. I intentionally put on the Yoruba traditional hat out of reverence to the millions, tens of millions of open-minded Yoruba progressives. I know my title hits on a broad basis, but I'm definitely not talking about progressive Yorubas and open-minded Yorubas. But I must also be concerned, I must also show you my concern that sometimes I start to wonder if the number of open-minded Yorubas and progressives is dwindling. And why did I include Remi Tinubu in that title? The Yorubas who ridicule Igbos have not shown any respect whatsoever for any Igbo person at any level in Nigeria. My YouTube channel is very minimal in traffic compared to channels that get huge traffic. But if those big traffic channels are not going to talk about it, I'll talk about it. If Yorubas will ridicule the essence of being an Igbo person in Nigeria, ridicule our traditions, over the last 50 plus years, lie and distort everything about Igbos, and no significant Yoruba person, top to bottom, can go on Arise TV or channels. And I don't mean the champions like Dele Farotimi and Yemi Adamolekun and Rufai and shit. Not those people. I mean Yoruba traditional rulers who know better, or I hope they know better. If none of them can come out and call these bigots to order, you have no business cringing and wondering why I'll have the title that I have for this show. There's a girl in Canada called Amaka who made a statement I'd like to dissociate myself from, saying that she would like to throw some things into foods and stuff that Yorubas and Bini people consume so that she could wipe them out. That's violent. But the reality is that when there is a cause, there is an effect. What Amaka said from Canada is nothing but the effect of causes that Tinubu and his bigots, including Remi Tinubu, have been brewing since 2019. As a matter of fact, since 2014, starting with the misguided Oba of Lagos. That Oba said he'll throw Igbos into the lagoon if they don't vote for APC. Nobody threatened to take his seat of Obaship away from him. As a matter of fact, Yoruba bigots applauded him. When Remi Tinubu came out and said that Igbos will be ostracized, in many words, in Lagos if they don't XYZ. Nobody stopped her from being a senator of the Nigerian Republic. Nobody took away her title and benefits as former First Lady of Lagos. What you did is reward her with First Lady of Nigeria. When an Edo person, I'll play all these videos, when an Edo person came out and made derogatory statements about Igbos, and in that statement he said that Edos should watch out for Igbos wherever they find Igbo children and unlive them. What does unliving people mean in Edo lingo? Kill them? Did Abike Dabiri put out an SOS to get that person arrested? When your vice president was caught on audio planning with a Yoruba person about what they are going to do to Igbos in Lagos, what did Nigeria do? Reward him as vice president of Nigeria. But when an insignificant Igbo person in Canada gets angry at the rhetoric and says something out of anger, something she has no power to do, it becomes important for the Nigerian Senate and Nigerian House, in which sits Igbo senators and Igbo House of Rep members, and so-called senators and House of Rep members that are sympathetic to the Igbo cause. They all sat there and rushed a bill through to empower the useless Abike Dabiri to petition the government of Canada to extradite Amaka to Nigeria so she could become their next Nnamdi Kanu. And Igbo leaders of significance are sitting there with their mouths closed. The only reason this nonsense goes on against Igbos in Nigeria is not because of what these riffraff Yoruba bigots are saying, or what the riffraff Fulani jihadists and Igbo haters are saying. The reason it goes on is because the so-called useless Igbo leaders, from governors to church leaders to traditional leaders to wealthy business leaders of Igbo land, none of them have the balls to come out and say a damn thing while their people are being ridiculed, their businesses are being burned in Lagos, they are being threatened to be genocided. Enough is enough. I end on enough is enough because I want to introduce you to a Yoruba lady, Remi Molekun. And why do I want to do that? Because everything I say leads people to think Fred hates Yoruba people. I hate Yoruba bigots. I love Yoruba progressives and open-minded progressives. And too often I talk about Dele Farotimi and Rufai and Shehu and people like that who we see all the time. But a lot of people don't know about this piece of jewel that Nigeria has that happens to be a Yoruba person in the person of Remi Molekun and the positions she has steadfastly taken on fairness, justice, and positions against bigotry in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Remi Molekun.
I get the strength to do this work because I very much believe in the concept of purpose. My name is Remi Molekun, and I campaign for good governance and public accountability in Nigeria through active citizenship. Enough is Enough was started in March 2010 from a protest. But after the protest, we decided to turn the energy into an organization that then focused on elections. To solve the problem of Nigeria, we must organize. And if you don't take an active role or participate, you are on the losing end of the stick. So the focus was on young people. So the idea was to get them engaged and turn their anger, rather than on the streets, into how they vote and the choices that they make. The body language of Mr. President and his administration in the weeks leading up to the protest spoke loudly because it affirmed that they really don't care. I mean, he was more preoccupied with meeting with stakeholders to stop the protest than engaging to interrogate the demands of the protesters. The vice president labeled protest organizers bandits and idiots. The secretary to the government of the federation, with disdain at a press conference, described the protest as useless. The Senate president, might I add, who is second in line to the presidency, said protests can continue as long as they, meaning him, other government officials, and their associates continue eating. And eating in Nigerian parlance is not just eating food, it also means just participating in what I call corrupt practices. The Minister of State for Police Affairs joined anti-protest protesters. And of course, there was no problem with those ones. Nigeria police fired tear gas and used live ammunition against unarmed protesters, murdering citizens. I proposed a solution then 9 years ago, and I table it today. Stop electing idiots. So I say it again, stop electing idiots. How do we do this? I was watching footage of the Democratic National Convention yesterday, and Obama in his speech said, our job is to convince people that democracy can actually deliver. We need to crack that code in Nigeria.
Now, bear with me. To fully understand Yemi Adamolekun's position on Nigeria and injustice, I have to take you back to her position a day or two before the election in Lagos, where Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Sanwo-Olu and Yoruba traditional rulers in Lagos ordered mayhem against Igbos or anybody they perceived to look like an Igbo person, trying to vote against APC. Just listen.
This day newspapers yesterday highlighted concerns over alleged moves by governors to rig the elections by all means possible, including resorting to extrajudicial means to compromise the process. These day findings also reveal that one of the means through which the governors intend to rig the exercise is by working with the resident electoral commissioners, RECs, in their respective states, and also the use of thugs to help them disrupt the process to garner more votes. Joining us on the show to discuss security ahead of Saturday's election is Yemi Adamolekun, the Executive Director of Enough is Enough Nigeria. Welcome to the morning show.
The chairman of the Lagos State Parks Management Committee, Musiliu Akinsanya, popularly known as MC Oluomo, was reported as saying Mama Chukwudi should stay at home if Mama Chukwudi wants to vote for any other party apart from APC. Otherwise, well, he left that hanging. Now, please, what do you have in terms of message for all these security agencies in the face of what looks like real threat to peace tomorrow?
Your point about MC Oluomo, I think what's critical about MC Oluomo, not only his antecedents as a head of the NURTW in Lagos and things that he's been alleged to have done, but also the fact that at this particular moment, he's a staff of Lagos State government. Again, another opportunity for the Lagos State government to speak very clearly. His statement on the video was not only stay home if you're not voting APC, he also said in Yoruba, basically, if the vote is not going our way, you know what to do. So I think this morning, my message quite clearly, in addition to security agencies, is to the Lagos State government, or more directly actually, to the governor of Lagos State. You are not governor of APC members, you are not governor of Yorubas, you are governor of Lagos State. And it is critical as we go to elections tomorrow.
Amen. And thank you to Yorubas like Yemi Adabolekun. She told you what her message was to the governor of Lagos State, who is a useless bigot. Here is my message to law enforcement in Nigeria, the idiots who wait for you at the airport to arrest you when you come home based on, there's nothing I say that I can't stand by. My message is to Igbos of Nigeria. it's time to stand up to Yoruba bigots. When the first lady of your country is a bigot and is on tape to say things to her, to give dog whistles, blow dog whistles to her bigots about what to do to Igbos, and nothing happened to her. And the Oba of Lagos in 2014 said Igbos will be thrown in the lagoon if they don't vote a certain way, and nothing happened to him. And MC Oluomo says what will happen to Igbos if they don't vote for APC, and nothing happened to him. And there are emails and text messages that implicate people close to the governor of Lagos about being copied on the messages from the Yoruba Ronu group that was threatening what they are going to do to Igbos, and the governor said nothing about it. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu, prior to the election, said, grab it, snatch it, grab it, and run with it, and nothing happened to him. And Amaka said, sprinkle things in their drinks and food, and you're threatening to go and arrest her in Canada. And Igbos should know that the only way to stop these bigots is to stop being wimps. We all sit around and discuss the problem that these things create for Nigeria and for Igbos. And you come out in public and you lovey-dovey up to your Yoruba friends who are cronies of Tinubu, who come out and smile in your face, and behind your back, they are in meetings and discussions where they are talking about how to stab you in the back. It's time for Igbos to challenge every Yoruba friend they have. You call yourself my friend. Where do you stand on this matter? We can't be the ones that want to save Nigeria. Fuck Nigeria. If everybody else in Nigeria doesn't want Nigeria to be together, let's go our separate ways. Nnamdi Kanu is calling for Biafra. They have him locked up because they are scared of his influence. If you don't want Igbos, why is Nnamdi Kanu locked up? I have my disagreements with Nnamdi Kanu. But situations like this in Nigeria make it clear that maybe Nnamdi Kanu is right. His style is just wrong. A Bini person has on tape his voice telling Edo people to unlife Igbo children wherever they see them. The Nigerian Senate hasn't gone after him. A Yoruba person has audio, and I'll play them, talking trash. As a matter of fact, let me play them so you can hear.
Since they feel say they get the power or they get the right, we will let them know say we be Bini people. We know what we sabi do, we will do unto them. But I put this thing now and make our people both home and abroad the year on. Maybe say anywhere they foresee their children, unalive them.
Okay. Anywhere where they see both children, may they unalive them. Okay. Now our children, they want they go for Abi.
Google wait some more the video. God damn it!
And yeah, the verse.
Bini Empire, now Empire they call on. They not say Bini. They not say Edo State. Now Bini Empire. You not get right to the talk to us anyhow. Anywhere you see their children, unalive them. Both home and abroad, America, Europe, anywhere in the world, unalive them.
And one thing where Edo people don't know, and we don't. Now Igbo people now they fight us.
Okay.
Yes, now. Yes.
Now Igbo people now loot Benin, now rape our woman. Now they take fight us with the carry. So that is why I dey tell una now. Make we begin dey show them. We may yet do be tie. Uga muja you a train. Una mi obi go koke. Tiola pane. Ima hen avia ya yiga. Imana mi ana so na mi dey osra. Kingsley. Wale check una neya we 2017 the person wey seize Biafra flag for stadium. Na me do am we go court. And I defeat them. One Mariah squad making. Any party where go there, they see me enter there because they know say I go run them enter them, and they don't give me food now. Where I go take run enter them. I do community they do our 31st anniversary. May ya take poison ne. A managing and I will your I go teach them lesson. 1824. Benin Kingdom don't respect, don't already recognize.
Anywhere you see Igbo children, unalive them. Has that stupid woman, whatever her name is, Dabiri or whatever her name is from Ikorodu, the diaspora minister, has she gone after this guy who wants to unalive Igbo children? But she wants to go after Amaka in Canada. Over my dead body, as long as I have this show, I'll make sure I embarrass the federal government into bringing justice, equal justice. If a Benin man wants to unalive Igbo children, go and arrest him before you arrest an Igbo woman. If Remi Tinubu wants to kick Igbos out of Lagos and do whatever she wants to do to them, arrest her before you arrest Amaka. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu is encouraging Oro Festival to hurt Igbos in Lagos, arrest him before you touch Amaka. And to all the worthless Igbo leaders, traditional leaders, politicians and all, you should be ashamed of yourself if anything happens to Amaka in Canada. Here is a young man's comparison about justice in Nigeria or lack thereof. The way the federal government treats Boko Haram terrorists and the way they treat innocent Igbos that sometimes have a flippant tongue. Just watch.
So it is very easy to trace and track down someone who insulted a politician with just his comment on social media. But it is not easy to trace and track down a bandit who keeps uploading video of himself flaunting the money he collected from his victims. I think there is something they are not telling us.
Now, I want you to listen to this. And while you are listening to it, see how you could get it to Abike, Dabiri, and the senators and the House of Rep members, and ask them if they have arrested this guy wherever he is. But they want to arrest Amaka in Canada. In Igbo land, we say Otorobabukwa onu. Thunder fire every one of you who made that decision in the Senate and House of Reps, including the Igbo members in that House and Senate, who sat there, either voted for or didn't vote for, but didn't challenge that nonsense. Because you're a bunch of wimps, and all you're there to do is stuff your pockets and go home. To hell with your constituents. And listen to this Yoruba bigot. And while I say that, I'm talking about bigots. I'm not talking about Yorubas.
This is the time, if you guys think you are the reincarnation of your forefathers, you think you are here to finish the conquest of your forefathers in the First Republic, we are the reincarnation of the time of Awolowo, and we will do what Awolowo did not do. Total solution. And that you guys will never dare Yoruba land again. You will think twice. You will think twice. You are not better than us. You are not bigger than us. You are not greater than us.
They still wanted you the last year when the president spoke about it. They
one thing you can scare? In this Nigeria, there's only one people that are conquered people, and it's you Igbos. No other person is a conquered people in Nigeria. You are the only people that my ancestor, a Yoruba man, took your leaders, put handcuffs in them, and brought them to Lagos to Gowon. The only reason why you have mouth today is because Gowon chose to forgive them. If you had put them in execution plan, what would your life be?
When Igbos supported and voted overwhelmingly for Obasanjo, they were not bigots. When Igbos supported and voted overwhelmingly for Yar'Adua, they also were not bigots. When Igbos voted, supported Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, they were not bigots. When Igbos voted, supported overwhelmingly Atiku Abubakar, they were not bigots. It was when Igbos now supported and voted for Peter Obi that all of a sudden they become bigots. There is a very vile thing that Tinubu has done to Nigeria, which is worse than the bad governance that we all are experiencing, and that is the bigotry that he has unleashed. It is unbelievable that all of a sudden there is this attack on the Igbo people. And I tell you right now, it started going towards the 2023 election. And as we are, they are already in 2027 election. Abike Dabiri recently, was very passionately, as she said, doing her job, went after a lady who had called for massacre of citizens, both the Yorubas and the Edos. I'm from Edo State anyways. And she said she's doing her job. It's a good thing to do your job. But one of the things that we must understand is that selective justice or selective prosecution is injustice in itself. But what about all those other people who have been calling for attacks on other tribes who happen not to be Igbos? Why are they not being prosecuted?
ọba máa rìkọ́ọ̀dì a máa lọ gbé gbogbo àwọn òrìṣà èkó wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní àwọn ipò tó máa bá wọ́n lè ní o jẹ̀ ti má rì ipò tó bá lè ti fẹ́ yóò bá ká jogún ẹ̀ ó máa lọ a máa jogún yín ni a máa jogún gbogbo ipò tó wà dẹ́kun yìí wọ́n lọ ṣe máa ṣe nìyẹn ogun wa lẹ́ máa jẹ a máa ṣe ìyíjà a máa jogún yín ni agbára Jésù ìtẹ́ ṣe bá ṣe nífẹ̀ẹ́ yìí tó ẹ̀bà ara jẹ́ àwa kan bínú ọmọ wa sísá mi tún wá lọ bímọ fún Ìgbò ṣé kí n lọ kó Obieze wa Obieze lẹ́ẹ̀ ti gbà bọ̀dé olórí Obieze lẹ́ẹ̀ ti gbà bọ̀dé ó tún lọ mú kámẹ́rà wa lọ lé ẹ̀ ní ẹ̀ ti gbà bọ̀dé a máa jogún yín ni àwa la máa jogún yín àgọ́ wa ló máa dáàdì ẹ̀ a máa jogún yín láì ṣe pé yìí nìkan ni aráàlú Haúsá wà ń bí àgbà wọn láyè Kàlàbá wà ń bí àgbà wọn láyè ẹ wá ń bèrè pé báwo ni tí wàá ṣe jẹ́.
Now, have you really thought about what all this bigotry is all about? All this Yoruba bigotry? And the shame is even the Yorubas who are really not bigots, but they sit back and say nothing, because when it's all said and done, bigot or no bigot, even educated Nigerians, Yoruba professors, lawyers, engineers, doctors, teachers, all they think about Nigeria is the bigotry of who is in Asha Rock. They don't think about qualifications. Tiwa ni tiwa. Yoruba ronu, that onu tonro is just to say, Taloma wal Asha Rock. Because when you think of who occupies Asha Rock, you're thinking corruptly. You're thinking about benefiting one side against the other, and not putting a qualified person with a national outlook that can think about the interest of the whole nation. For many Yorubas, it's Igbo, Yoruba, Igbo. So myopic in thinking. Listen to what Aisha Yusufu thinks all this bigotry is all about. Listen to this.
For me, there's always something. When things are happening, you always look at what are those dots that need to be connected, that are not being connected. There's always something going on. And if you sit down and observe and watch carefully, you will see the dots as they are being connected. This is all about 2027 election. There are people who are afraid that once again, Mr. Peter Obi will come out and run. And not only will he win as he did before, he will have more votes because there are more people now who are ready to support him. There are more people who have seen that indeed he has what it takes, and indeed the people are willing and ready to stand. There are people who in 2023 knew that Peter Obi was the best candidate, but of course, being rational and thinking in a rational manner, they felt that, well, it was too short a time for him to be able to gather enough votes to win, and they wouldn't want to waste their votes. But now, those people have seen that it's not that was what they thought was going to happen was not what happened, and they're going to give him more support. There are other people also who in their own way, they thought Tinubu was going to do something, and they gave him the votes that they gave him, even though it was not enough for him to win, but it was enough for him to rig election. And most of those people have seen that the master strategies that they thought they had have no strategy, and right now they're thinking Peter Obi. Then, of course, you look at the angle from the north, where this incompetence, this bad governance, this insecurity has done more. Even things are worse than what it was during Buhari. And most of these people, they no longer want Tinubu. They no longer want anything called the Muslim ticket. Some of them are even saying that a Christian ticket would be better than the Muslim ticket. There's a whole lot that is going on. There's a silent revolution that is going on in Nigeria. And let me just quickly digress and add one thing to say to us all. What the NSAS did to the southern youth is the same thing that the End Bad Governance protest has also done to the northern youth. An awakening of understanding the relationship between governance and people's lives. And this time, the northern youth are also ready to stand. They're no longer allowing themselves to be divided, allowing themselves to be controlled by their elders and also by the religious rulers. For the first time, you will see Malams are speaking and the youth are challenging them and telling them to shut up. Yes, that is what is happening. And to the political class that have also always controlled the northern voting bloc, it's something that they are afraid of. And what have they turned to is bigotry. There's this concerted hatred towards the Igbo people all of a sudden, because one of them dared not only to run for election but to win that election and to get the overwhelming support of the people around. And so while I see Abike Dabiri and I'm thinking, why do you have this selective, prosecution that is happening? There have been a lot of evidence. Videos have come out of different people who have called for, massacres and killings of Igbos, people who are from other tribes, people who are even from Abike Dabiri's tribe. It's unfortunate that Nigeria has gotten to a place where we are talking on issues based on the tribe that someone is from. But you know why? Right now, there is no legal action. Government has not done anything. NIDCOM hasn't done anything, because at the end of the day, they want to be able to say, oh, it was the Igbos that were doing bigotry. And so because of that, see an evidence from this lady in Canada, that blah, 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 blah. That's what they're trying to do. And they are working towards 2027. It's all to put Igbos and to put Peter Obi in a bad light. This bigotry did not start today. This bigotry started way right from 2019, when you had the wife of the former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, talking about driving Igbos away, taking away their properties. That is it. Tinubu has also, there has been reports of Tinubu where he has also, put out some statements that, they were leading to something. So, citizens of Nigeria, the fight has started. And one of the things that I always say is that good must be more tenacious than evil. For those who want the betterment of Nigeria, we cannot afford to be tired.
And on that note, I'm going to bring this episode to an end. But before I end it, I know that a lot of times people think it's me talking about Yorubas. I have no choice. What Yoruba bigots are doing in Nigeria today is shameful. The reason they have the guts to do what they are doing is that in the past, people don't challenge it. Igbos are into the habit of pretending they don't see what's going on. They know what's going on, but they don't want to talk. They want to play. I'm not playing gentle. Let Igbos play their political correctness. The only way you stop Yoruba bigots and Fulani jihadists in Nigeria is to fight fire for fire. And the only way you bring the Yorubas that give you lip service, like they don't support what's going on, the only way you make them show you where they stand is to embarrass them with these things that I'm saying. Many of them are my friends, but stop sitting back and listening to their bullshit. When they bring the bullshit, challenge it. Let them prove you wrong, or you throw the sand in their faces. Nigeria cannot survive if we keep playing political correctness in the face of wickedness. What Yoruba bigots have been doing with Tinubu in Nigeria against Igbos is wickedness. And when did Igbos become wimps that sit back and allow a wicked person to run over them? You could let them run over you. I'm not going to be that Igbo person that sits back and say nothing. If Yorubas don't like what I'm saying, change. If you think what I'm saying is wrong, come to my studio. Let's sit down and talk about it. Put your opinion out there, put mine out there. I'm the one who is on record for saying what I'm saying, but all I'm saying is prove me wrong. If you're right, come sit on my studio. If you want to, I'll set up a Zoom session, but I want to see your face. Show Nigeria who you are and where you stand. If you're a Yoruba bigot, I don't care if you're a doctor, lawyer, teacher, professor, show that you're a bigot. I'll clap for you because I'd rather know a bigot and know how to deal with them than be playing around with somebody who I think is my friend and they have a dagger to stick me in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Fred Nwankwo coming to you from our studios in Chicago with a very candid edition of Bold Talk on Island TV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
Max, if you bunye go kwanu mo no fube nazo olaga ni biazugo mmanwu olaga do ni biazugo akwa nwa wilochi o biko rapuzo kona bazia odogu kenelu bikechofo Amakwa mnika gogodia Waligwe kwelo Ikeja babele bege Hey, you want? Odogu kenelu ika bugodia Waligwe kwalona Ike jama bela begia Hey, you want? Eku kampune kene Omogo ndị nsọ Chukwu emekalumo ike Chukwu negaje Esi nwanne m ekene Ịlapụlụ ife niile na-eme wee bịa Nke gosili na anyị na gị bụ nwanne wisdom ga-adị Ka nye gị maịkị ka ogobanya bụ egwu Isili maxi ọ bụ na-etiri egwu a malụkwa malụ n'imego m ife ọjọọ wee sị gị nwanne m ife ọbụ na ịchọlụ na ngeme wisdom onume ekene gị gbamanwụ iyo biko lapụ nabasị zoro 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 Duru joy na bugwa Hausa Sokoto Ujembe mwilo Anu solo nwe manofia nara Onye nwuro zuru ike